Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the most popular digital asset of cryptocurrency, the one that's been highlighted most in the media for the last few years or so. Something that can be relied upon, has been tested and tried, also has been around on the market for a long period of time. It's a store of value that is easily accessible from many exchanges all over the internet. Of course, we're talking about the one and only Bitcoin. While many of you might have been in the industry for quite some time, it is undeniable that some people may still not grasp the concept of Bitcoin itself. What is Bitcoin? Where did it come from? How does it work? Is it a scam? Is it worth buying? Or is it just silly internet money used by criminals? We'll explain all that today in plain English. All right, the best way to learn about what Bitcoin is by understanding what it's not. If we look at normal money, like the American or Australian dollars, we know that these currencies are created and backed by a country, a government, and its central bank. They're used by its citizens inside its borders and have an unlimited supply, meaning that more of this money can be printed or created at any time. This can cause inflation. This is what makes Bitcoin different. Bitcoin has a limited supply of 21 million. That's it. Never more to be created, making it more scarce than dollars or euros. And it's not attached to one specific country, government, or central bank, meaning it's not controlled by anyone and can't be stopped by anyone. But I know what you may be thinking. How is this so? And how does it work? What does it mean when we say it can't be stopped? To understand this, we need to focus on where Bitcoin came from and what technology powers it. Bitcoin was first created about 12 years ago by Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, we don't know who this mystery person or persons are. We don't know whether it's an individual or a group of people, because once Bitcoin was established, they disappeared. We still don't know the true identity of Satoshi to this day. What Satoshi, whoever they are, created, though, has changed the history of the internet forever. Satoshi used the concept by a few earlier internet cash pioneers, but made it work by investing in the technology that's called the blockchain. It's the technology that powers Bitcoin. What is the blockchain, you may ask? The blockchain is often referred to as a distributed ledger. Distributed because everyone has access to it, and ledger because it's the way that the accounting of Bitcoin takes place. Let's use a bank as an example. Millions of people can hold bank accounts at any certain bank. They all have individual accounts. Their money and the ledger of those accounts are held by the bank, often with only the bank having access to it. For the bank to be hacked, someone would need to get access to that bank's internal servers. Now, let's say you wanted to send money to someone else. You consequently inform the bank, and then the bank makes that change. They would essentially credit someone else's account and deduct that amount of money from your account. If you withdraw money from an account, the bank gives you cash from their reserves and minuses that amount from your account. This is where Bitcoin and the blockchain are totally different. A blockchain is exactly as its name, a chain of blocks all linked together. These blocks contain information, or transactions. They're time-stamped and verified by a type of math called cryptography. Cryptography works a little bit like a notary, verifying the block's position and time. That block is linked in a chain with all the previous blocks containing information and transactions. They will stay in their place and be attached to all future blocks containing their transactions and information. This information contained in the blockchain is unchangeable and incorruptible. Once it's there, that transaction is there forever. Now, what makes blockchain unique is that the information isn't all saved and stored in one location, but rather, the Bitcoin blockchain is housed on millions of computers all over the world. These everyday people store and add blocks on the blockchain. They're called miners, and they're paid a small fee of Bitcoin for providing the computing and processing power of the blockchain. This gets a little bit technical, so we'll keep it simple for the sake of this episode. Because this blockchain of information is being stored on millions of different computers all over the world, when a new transaction or a new piece of information is added to a block, the system talks to all the other computers who are running the Bitcoin blockchain. When enough of them have recorded the transactions, then it's locked in place and the entire network is updated. That way, everyone knows a transaction has just taken place. This process normally takes around 10 minutes. Let's say I want to send 1 Bitcoin to my friend. The transaction would be recorded and then shared with many other computers all over the world. And then, 10 minutes later, that Bitcoin would appear in my friend's Bitcoin wallet. This is why Bitcoin is so amazing. You don't need a bank or a middleman like PayPal to process the transaction. It's as simple as person to person, with the protection layers of the bank being replaced by unhackable computer code. The network is unhackable and incorruptible because for someone to hack Bitcoin, they would need to have access to more than 51% of all the computers in the world running the Bitcoin blockchain. So, essentially impossible, making Bitcoin the most safe and reliable way to send transaction information. Now, the price of Bitcoin has risen sharply over the years and has had many boom and bust cycles. Due to the price being so high, you might be thinking you've missed the opportunity to buy one. This is where you're mistaken. Each Bitcoin can be divided up into 8 decimal places. So, you can essentially hold 0.00000001 of a Bitcoin. This small fraction of a Bitcoin is called a sat, named after the mysterious founder, Satoshi. We've only scratched the surface of its adoption worldwide, and with the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, you can see that people are losing faith in their domestic currencies as they lose power because of inflation and mass money printing. Bitcoin has held firm and has even been institutionally adopted as legitimate payment options by many banks and even PayPal. Last month, Tesla just bought in and said they're planning to accept it as a payment option as well. Not mentioning MicroStrategy, Grayscale, and all other big institutions who are investing in Bitcoin too. The price could still go much, much higher, possibly making it one of the best investment opportunities of a lifetime. As this new form of digital money starts to become more adopted, it may eventually take over as the preferred method of online payments or store of value. Now, over to you. What do you guys think of Bitcoin? Do you think it will be more mainstream? Let us know in the comments below. If you're looking to learn more about finance and investing topics like this, stay tuned for our next videos. We'll touch on various other topics that are sure will interest you. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. See you next time.